Stay tuned for today's Antidote, brought to you by the Renegade Success Network. Today's Antidote features a healthy dose of thought-provoking insights and information for business owners, entrepreneurs, leaders, and nonprofit professionals. Each day since March of 2020, this program has offered that one thing to help you continue on your own unique pathway to success. And now, Renegades, we bring you Bob Graham and Tom Brush.
Hey, Tom. Happy Friday. It's Friday. Yes, it's Friday. I'm so excited. It's Friday.
I guess you're excited that it's Friday.
It's been a busy week.
Yes, it has. I would agree with that.
And I'm playing golf either this afternoon or tomorrow afternoon, and I haven't played golf in a couple weeks, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Nice. Good for you. Good
How
for
are you?
I am doing well, thanks. I've got a busy day ahead, and I'm excited about that. So it's going to be a good day.
You've got another presentation, and then you're facilitating a group today, right?
I do indeed. Yes. So
Tom Brush, busy man about campus.
Yeah. Well, next week's a little quieter, which will be nice. I'll look forward to a little bit of. So I'll have a lot of follow up to do. So that'll be good to do. So
That's good.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's Antidote, our daily podcast and live broadcast. We hope that if you are listening into the podcast, that you will rate us and also
5 stars.
That it's 5 stars, and that you share this with family and friends, coworkers, whoever you think might consider themselves a renegade, might be just looking for next steps. And in either way, know that they are looking for some sort of value that might impact what's real for them and how they're able to move forward with their day. If you're watching us on Facebook Live, YouTube, or Twitter, please feel free to put any thoughts you have in the comments, because we know it helps impact our show. And at the end, if you'd like to offer your one thing, please feel free to do that. So with that, since it's Friday, and Friday are discoveries of the week, I think this is one of Bob's favorite days because we get to do what did we discover this week. And before we do that, we always get into our celebrations. So, Bob, what are you celebrating today?
I am celebrating that it's Friday, and it's getting to the end of a very, very, very busy week.
Okay.
That's simple.
But celebrations don't have to be difficult. They just have to be simple. I don't know. I got to think about what I'm celebrating today. I'm celebrating that. What am I celebrating today? Should have thought about this a little more ahead of time. Sorry about that.
Do you want me to go on and we'll come back to you?
No, that's okay.
Okay.
I'm going to celebrate the fact that I fought through some doubt this week, made it through. I was able to drive it away a little bit and move forward to do some things that I really enjoy doing. And I think there is real value in that. And so I'm just going to celebrate that. And then I get to enjoy another weekend on the lacrosse field. So those are
awesome.
Yes. So what are we celebrating? What is today's national holiday?
It is National Color Day. Now I didn't think about this until I was reading about this, but color gives emotion, gives us a real big part of our life is color, especially in the fall as the leaves start to change color and we look at the beautiful setting of the trees and the sun hitting them in the morning and the afternoon. I used to have a job where I would drive to work in the fall and the sun would be coming up and the trees would be getting different colors. And it was breathtaking. Like every now and then you'd see someone pulled off on the side of the road taking pictures.
Interesting.
So National Color Day. And we all experience color differently. This is the fascinating thing about color to me, that you see blue different than I see blue and different than someone else sees blue. So what you call blue could be blue-gray to me. And as we get older, there are certain color bands that males see better and females see better. Yes.
Interesting. So
There's
what color is the wall
lots of
behind
color.
you?
What's that?
What color is the wall behind you?
Light blue.
Okay. was just checking if it was the
But
same blue
I
that
can tell you, when my wife and I look at certain shades of gray, she sees it as much greener than I do.
Interesting.
And we have that. I mean, we think that blue is blue. And if I say royal blue, you see royal blue the same way, but we each as humans see it slightly differently.
Even though the color is the color, because they
Correct.
all have, what are they called?
Pantone.
Pantones.
Yep.
Or
Yep.
RGB numbers, and there's a
Yep.
very exact color that's a part of that.
And then you have colorblind people who can't see the reds and greens real well.
Correct. Interesting.
And I worked with someone at one point, and we would be going over logos for this thing we were doing, and he just couldn't see the shades of color. I'm like, it's right there. He's like, you can tell it to me 1,000 times. I don't see it. It's like, okay, wow.
I guess color is just what is real to us.
Correct. It is very individualized, but not something we think of that way. We think of it as an absolute. The way you see blue is the way the world sees blue in your mind, probably. But the reality is, someone might see it as blue, and someone else might see it as blue-gray, and someone might see it as blue-red.
Fair enough. All right, National Color Day. I guess it's not so good. I guess white is a color, so I'm not so good. I wore my white shirt.
White isn't white all the colors put together, and no, black is all the colors put together. White is one of them's the absence of all color, which messes with me. I think it's black.
Okay.
When I was in journalism school, we spent some time talking about color.
It sure sounds like it.
Yeah, I've taught this even, so I know a bit about color.
All right. Excellent. Well, it's good. So you will definitely be celebrating it today.
I will.
Excellent. All right. So it is Friday, as Bob mentioned a couple of times at the start of the show. And on Friday, we always do our discoveries of the week. This week, we were talking about driving doubt away and had, I think, some fascinating conversations. And it just so happened that I was dealing with some doubt in the middle of the week and was just sort of the worlds aligning for whatever reason. And I think that helped enhance what we were talking about. So as you look back over the week, Bob, what are your takeaways? What's your discovery from the week?
I think my discovery from the week is that we can't drive doubt away completely. It's there. And the more we understand what causes it in us, whatever, you're triggered by an employee, you're triggered by a customer who calls, you're triggered by the FedEx person parking in front of your car, and that makes you doubt whether you should park there, whatever. It could be anything. When you figure out what those triggers are, that's when I think you have the opportunity to drive the doubt away by using strategies to overcome them. Just like the other day, you had self-doubt about your presentation. You reached out to me and we talked through it. The self-doubt went away because you took an action to offset it. And I think that's the antidote here, right? The antidote is, when you have self-doubt, accept that you have self-doubt and figure out what you need to do to deal with it. Because otherwise, it's going to consume you. It's a snowball getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Sure.
And I've spent way too much of my career allowing self-doubt to take over in places where it wasn't worth it.
Okay. I like that. Yeah. And I think that there's even, that happens even outside of just self-doubt, just doubt in general, doubt in others, doubt in. I think as I look back on the week, one of the things that you said earlier in the week was, struck me a little bit, is that thinking about triggers and what are the things that almost always will lead us directly into doubt. And I think that if we can identify those and sort of see patterns, then we can figure out what are the actions and the steps and whatever we need to do to take to drive it away, to really deal with it. And hopefully that will make it easier to drive it away if we understand why, like for you, sorry to bring this up, but when you have days when there's nothing scheduled on your calendar, that creates doubt for you. And I think what I think has been interesting for you is that I think you've had less and less of those days once you started doing the day pack.
Mm-hmm.
And you identified what are the 3 key things and you plug them into your calendar rather than just saying, I have these 3 things to do. It's on a list somewhere. I know that I need to get to them. I think for you, the actual act of plugging them into your calendar so that when you look at it first thing in the morning or depending on when you do the activities of filling your day pack, you don't look at it and be like, well, I've got nothing or very few things. I actually have 3 things, maybe, or 2 things, or 1 thing that are critical, most important things you need to do to help move forward. And I think that ability to see this is something that leads to doubt for me, and this is a way that I can address it, I'm going to be able to get out of it quicker. If you had never come to that realization and it just sort of happened, it was, I'm sure, a lot harder to sort of work through. And so I think that if we can find and maybe even record when we have doubt, we can then start to figure out how can we address it in the future when we know the same thing is coming up and know that we have dealt with it before.
I think that's great, Tom. And I was going to give another example. Over the last 1.5 to 2 years, there's been a certain entity that posts things on social media that each time I see it, it causes me self-doubt. And I don't look at that anymore. I have no idea. If it comes up in discussion, I might look and I give myself 3 minutes, but I used to fixate on what that entity was putting out, what it meant, what it didn't mean. Now it caused me self-doubt. So the easiest way was to eliminate it from the equation. And it doesn't cost me anything except to say, you know what? I'm not going to follow that feed anymore. I don't care. And that was, I think you helped me realize that. And you suggested to me several times, and I didn't really jump at it. But finally, I was like, is this helping me or hindering me? And I think often self-doubt is what hinders us in getting what we want to accomplish done. The other thing that I want to make sure we highlight is you said yesterday during the program that you realize that self-doubt, when you have self-doubt, that means something matters. And I really think that's a great takeaway from this week, that self-doubt may be that signal to you that you actually care, that this customer is important to you, that this team member is important to you, that this presentation is important to you, that this email that you're writing to someone that you're doubting is really important to you. Because as you said yesterday, you don't have self-doubt when you don't care.
Sure.
You just do.
Right. Yeah. And I think it's just much easier you just don't deal with it. So you don't even have to drive it away. It's just, all right, I'm just going to say, how many emails a day do you send that you have no qualms about just hitting send? You might not even really proofread it. You just kind of like, yeah, I'm going to just send this. And then they're the others or the other actions or steps that we take that lead us to some doubt. And we have to then figure out, okay, why is that? And then how do I work to drive it away? What are some of the actions and steps that I can take, strategies to move me from doubt back into a place where that I can take action or take the next step and move forward?
I like it. Wow.
Excellent. So that's quick. Anything else from the week that you want to share?
No, I think that's enough. I mean, you and I didn't really have the deepest plan for this week when we were talking through this, and it's come through far more powerfully for me than I envisioned. There's really some gems that have come up here, and I feel like this is one of the weeks where I want to say, hey, the discoveries of the week, go back and listen to every episode, because that's where the discoveries are. It's really hard. I could give you 5 more things that I discovered this week, but I think that's just overwhelm.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Just lead people into more doubt. Like, okay, which one do I? All right, you got all these strategies for me to help me drive doubt away. I'm not sure I know which is the right one to do. So
right. Now I doubt, am I doing the right one?
Yes. We just
exactly.
lead you right back into doubt. Now we're going to have a show again about dealing with doubt. All right, everyone.
Well, it is a cycle though, right?
Absolutely. It is definitely a cycle because even if you understand this is something that triggers me. Okay. And I figured out a way to manage it. I'm not going to say deal with it. It doesn't mean that it might not pop up again, or that you might just get to the point where you one day forget to pack your day pack. And then when you get up the next morning and you look at your calendar and you have nothing on it and you're like, wait a minute, what's going on? And, and I think all we have done now, and that you could look at that and be like, oh, I didn't do my day pack. Once I do that, I'm going to have things on my calendar that are priorities, and I'm going to figure out how to move forward. And so, I think it's all what we do, right? Is until we experience something, we can't learn from it. And then once we learn from it, we can figure out how do we then apply it the next time the situation comes up, even though the situation is going to be different because we've already experienced. So we have some understanding of what it looks like. If we never take the time to stop and figure out why was I dealing with doubt and just in the moment and dealing with doubt, then we are not going to be better prepared for the next time that or something similar, or even doubt arises again.
I was going to say it's going to get replaced. If you figure out how to avoid it in one situation or combat it or manage it, some other situation is going to come up and create a new level of doubt, and you're going to have to figure it out. It's like whack-a-mole. The minute the minute you hit one down, another one's coming up. It's just the human condition.
Sure.
Because we're carving our own unique path, which means there's no roadmap. And that's what I think is the hard part of this. If you could tell me the 10 steps of what I need to do to achieve the results I'm looking for, there's no self-doubt. My GPS, I don't doubt my GPS. I've learned when it says go east and avoid this traffic jam, I've learned if I don't do what it says, I sit in a traffic jam.
Sure.
It takes me convoluted ways, but there are still going to be traffic jams. Mm-hmm. On that GPS cannot prevent traffic jams. Right. It can't prevent slowdowns. It can't prevent accidents. It can only help me manage my way around them. And the same thing as we're going towards whatever we're trying to achieve. There will be things coming up. So I would hate for someone to say, oh, well, once I figure out the triggers of my doubt and I figure out how to manage it, I'll never have doubt ever again.
Correct.
If only. I think what I find is as I get into more complicated situations, the doubt is harder to identify what's causing it. And it's often deeper. And I have to really get at the roots of the tree a lot lower than the doubts I had a year ago or 5 years ago.
Sure. Right. They might not be as easy to solve. Then what used to work might not work as well anymore. So we're always changing and evolving, which is a great discovery of the week. So thanks so much for being with us this week. And, we talked a little bit about this day pack, Renegade Day Pack, through this episode. If you're not sure what that is, or you think that's something that might be beneficial for you, you might want to go to renegadesuccessnetwork.com and look for Find Success the Renegade Way. It's a 6-week program that will teach you the Renegade Way. And a part of that is filling your day pack with 3 essentials every day so that you're better prepared to address the day. And while you're addressing the day, you are focusing on those things that are most important to helping you move forward to whatever your final destination is. So you can find that at renegadesuccessnetwork.com. You can also message Bob or I, and we would be happy to provide you with further information. We have a cohort going through it right now, and I think they're already finding some unique nuggets that are helping them take their next step along. But
I could start it today or next Monday, right, Tom?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The beauty is you can start it when you want, because it has it's sort of self-guided with some support from Bob and I along the way. So with that, we hope that you have a great rest of the day and a great weekend. We will see you back here Monday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time for our next edition of today's Antidote. Have a great day, everyone.
Hey, embrace the renegading you.
Thanks for listening to today's Antidote, powered by the Renegade Success Network. The Renegade Success Network helps you confidently create your own unique pathway to success. To learn more about the Renegade Success Network and how you can take your next step, follow us on Twitter, connect on LinkedIn, or join the Ring of Renegades Facebook group. For full details on how you can join our community, go to renegadesuccessnetwork.com. Embrace the renegade in you.